This Russian armored group is attempting to break through Ukrainian defenses. Dozens of tanks and armored vehicles are deployed to capture Ukrainian positions. More tanks and BMPs join the assault as they push forward, attacking from multiple directions. But the Ukrainian defenses are ready. Battalion commanders, watching the assault in real time, immediately order the artillery to prepare.
Готовности, идут на взорванный мост. Срочно готовность.
Ukrainian artillery receives the coordinates of the Russian column and opens fire. At the same time, Russian commanders begin shelling Ukrainian positions to support their advance. Russia deploys two S-7 heavy-caliber Soviet-era artillery.
Первый готов, наведен.
Meanwhile, BMPs and tanks continue advancing, suppressing Ukrainian soldiers with constant fire. The Russian column moves into range of a Ukrainian anti-tank howitzer. A shot lands, damaging one of the vehicles. Still, the column pushes on. Ukrainian M777 artillery opens fire. A close hit, but not enough. As the Russians move closer, Ukrainian soldiers launch an ATGM. But the missile misses. The situation grows critical as Russian forces approach. Suddenly, a precise strike from Ukrainian artillery scores a direct hit on a Russian tank, bringing it to a halt. Javelins are launched at advancing BMPs carrying infantry. One finds its mark, leaving the vehicle heavily damaged. Ukrainian fire intensifies as more enemy vehicles close in. The lead Russian tank strikes a mine and stops, becoming a pivotal moment. Blocked by the wreck, the entire column is stalled, and another tank also detonates a mine. Ukrainian ATGM teams work relentlessly to disable the armored vehicles. Despite massive losses, Russian forces manage to push through and reach Ukrainian trenches. Tanks suppress defenders with fire as BMPs unload infantry before retreating. Overhead, Ukrainian bomber drones release explosives onto the advancing Russian troops, who rush into the trenches for cover. Ukrainian forces respond with 120mm mortar fire, turning the battlefield into chaos. Every available weapon is brought to bear as Russian troops press deeper into the trenches. Although tanks and BMPs begin to withdraw, Russian artillery continues to shell Ukrainian positions. Even with Russian soldiers inside Ukrainian trenches, artillery fire does not stop. The retreating armored group becomes a target for Ukrainian gunners, who strike their positions. A shell detonates an anti-tank mine, further compounding Russian losses. Russian troops regroup and take cover while awaiting further orders. Their commanders call for more artillery strikes, inflicting heavy punishment on Ukrainian defenders. A UAV drone is launched to locate Russian artillery batteries.
Высота. Плюс.
The drone identifies a 2S7 system capable of striking targets 40 kilometers away. Coordinates are relayed, and Ukrainian HIMARS launches its missiles. The strike is devastating. Ammunition detonates, completely destroying the artillery unit. Realizing their artillery is being hunted, Russian forces deploy a Tor-M2 air defense system. It locks onto the Ukrainian drone and fires a surface-to-air missile. The hit is successful, and the skies fall silent for now. Meanwhile, fighting on the front line intensifies. Russian infantry clashes directly with Ukrainian soldiers. But under pressure, the attackers begin to fall back. The assault, however, is far from over. Another Russian armored column, full of tanks and BMPs carrying infantry, closes in just a few hundred meters away. At full speed, the column advances. Ukrainian BM-21 Grad rockets slam into the formation, destroying a BMP, but 4 armored vehicles continue. Russian tanks open fire, but Ukrainian defenders respond fiercely from the trenches. Driving past wreckage, Russian armor presses on with relentless fire. A Ukrainian Vampire drone targets and disables an APC. Still, the enemy breaks through, encircling Ukrainian positions. 2 BMPs unload infantry dangerously close. Ukrainian soldiers fire RPGs at the vehicles, but are struck back by tank fire. Russian infantry enters the trenches, but a Vampire drone is already overhead. It drops explosives. Inflicting heavy losses within minutes of deployment. BMPs then begin a hasty retreat. Ukrainian artillery, lying in wait, pounds the retreating vehicles. Though some shots miss, Russian armor barely escapes. Another group of tanks and APCs attempts a flanking maneuver, but this time Ukrainians are prepared. Precise artillery fire and well-laid mines catch the Russians off guard. Believing Ukrainian defenses exhausted, they expected an easy breakthrough, but Ukrainian FPV drones join the fight, swarming enemy vehicles and destroying them one by one. The flank attack collapses. Russian troops fail to secure a foothold. Ukrainian drones drop grenades relentlessly, while artillery pounds the battlefield. A Vampire drone eliminates fortified positions, leaving Russians exposed. With ammunition dwindling, the situation grows dire for the attackers. Russian resources and manpower are quickly depleted. Drones capture scenes of devastation as surviving troops attempt to retreat. Abandoned by their commanders, Russian soldiers realize their assault has failed.